Have you ever committed adultery? Now, some of you are looking around like you're guilty. You've got to watch that, especially if your spouse is with you. President Jimmy Carter was asked this. And to be fair, his staff probably should have prepped him for the question better than they did. Because without even pausing to think, President Carter says, yes, in my heart, many times. Now, for a president, anything other than an unequivocal and immediate no, never, invites trouble, doesn't it? Honestly, for any of us, I think, especially if your spouse were to hear any answer besides no, never, without any pause or hesitation, kind of invites trouble, doesn't it? That will be an uncomfortable lunch after church, otherwise, I imagine. But whether you like President Carter and his politics or not, he was a very honest man, and in this case, probably honest to a fault. Yes, in my heart, and then with a heaviness, many times. But what about you? Enough about Jimmy Carter. Have you ever committed adultery? Have you ever stolen something? Have you ever secretly, passive-aggressively sabotaged something behind their back? Bless their hearts. Have you ever murdered someone? Everyone says, no, not me on that one, right? Statute of limitations is really long. Has any of you cheated on your taxes or lied? Don't tell Becky she's a CPA and she'll report you. So will Monica. But if you're honest, really honest, like Jimmy Carter to a fault honest, the answer to many of those questions is probably yes. In my heart, many times. Jesus tells us that what you do really matters. God cares about what you do, and what you do shapes who you are and what you become. What you do shapes your ability to become good friends with God and to become a saint. Jesus also tells us and knows that what you think, what enters into your heart and into your mind, also shapes your actions, and your actions shape who you become. What you think about suddenly enters the realm of the possible. It is now one of those things that could be done, perhaps with some consequences, but it is at least theoretically possible. And our thoughts shape our actions. You do what you think about doing, and the more you think about doing something, the more likely you are to do it. So it matters what you do, but it also matters quite a lot what you think. Psalm 119 tells us, happy are they who walk in the way of the Lord. Happy are they who keep his statutes. Because when you are walking in the way of the Lord, you are careful about filling your heart and your mind, and therefore your actions, with good things that lead you into better friendship with God. And that is the only way for joy and happiness long term. What you think about really matters. Now, you don't have to raise your hand or tell anyone else, but think about what shows you like to watch on television or stream from Netflix. What thoughts fill your mind as you watch television? Besides past the Cheetos. What music do you listen to? What thoughts does your music fill your mind with and your heart with? What books do you like to read? And what do these books fill your heart and mind with? For what you fill your heart and your mind with fills the world of the possible in your life. In the world of the possible, your thoughts form your actions and what you do. And what you do and how you live your life decides if you become a saint, if you become good friends with God or not. There is good news. Because if, like Jimmy Carter, you've done all of these things many times in your heart and are sorry for them, the thoughts you've had in the past and even the things you've done in the past do not have to define your present, and they do not have to define your future. God is there always beckoning us to come back. Take another chance. Try again. Let's do better this time. So no matter what you've done, God loves you. And you can choose to fill your heart and your mind and your actions with the love of Him. Amen.